Women were gifted with this amazing, beautiful puzzle between our legs. If all of this is not honored, then there's no none of this. Is this something that Christians are really believing? Get over it. Open up your legs and spread them for your man.
Are you withholding sex from your spouse? Are you crazy, husband? Are you crazy, wife? Do you know what you are doing? 1 Corinthians chapter 7 said your body doesn't belong to you, boo-boo. No, it belongs to your spouse. So because you mad, because you tired, because you want to get revenge, you're upset, that is no excuse to withhold sex from your spouse. As a matter of fact, you need to hear this and hear clear, because God gave us a warning. He said, when you withhold from sex, the enemy will come in like a flood and tempt you for your inconsistency. And it will be your own fault why your marriage is destroyed. All because you decided to withhold sex from your spouse. Don't do that. Don't do that. That ain't right. That ain't right. Go ahead, love on your spouse. Be intimate. Forgive. Let it go. Whatever you need to do it, confront it, deal with it, and get over with it, and get to having some sex up in here. I'm Mrs. Toy Banks, the world's most satisfied wife. In for Better Wife, Better Life. Help.
Oh Lord. You know what? You know what? Listen. You know what? I'm going through a whole flurry of emotion right now because I found her highly irritating. I also found this foolishness amusing and then also upsetting. So you know what? Let's get started by me putting on my Wakanda frame so that we can see what kind of foolishness is this. So let's see what's going on here. Is this something that Christians are really believing? You know what? As a matter of fact, let's pull up. She said for 1 Corinthians 7. So let's read what this says. Okay, so this is 1 Corinthians 7, the New International Version. I mean, I guess because there's so many different versions of the Bible. So let's see. Let's just get a gist. All right. Now for the matters you wrote about, quote unquote. I don't know who's being quoted, but it's okay. It is good for a man not to have sexual relations with a woman. Okay? But since sexual immorality is occurring, oh gracious, each man should have sexual relations with his own wife, and each woman with her own husband. The husband should fulfill his marital duties to his wife, and likewise the wife to her husband. The wife does not have a... Wait, what? The wife... Hold on. The wife does not have authority over her own body, but yields it to her husband. Oh God. In the same way, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but yields it to his wife. Do not deprive each other except perhaps by mutual consent and for a mutual consent, oh Lord of mercy, and for a time, so that you may devote yourselves to prayer. Then come together again so that Satan will not tempt you. So Satan is doing the tempting. Okay. So that Satan will not tempt. You know what? I'm not going to act like that. Excuse me. Please forgive me. So that Satan will not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. So your self-control... I say this as a concession, not as a command. Okay, I wish that all of you were as I am, but each of you has your own gift from God. One has this gift, another has that. Oh, gracious. Oh, Lord. You know what? I'm going to drop in my pen and stuff. Oh. Okay, so listen. So much going on here. All right, first things first. All right. You know, I'm sorry. I can't. Why do you guys send me these videos? Why do you guys send these things to me? All right. Let's start first things first. I'm a little bit hesitant to really jump into this video because a lot of the stuff that a lot of the ideology in this video is Christian based. And if this is what Christian people believe, then who am I to say otherwise? And this is part of the reason that I'm happy that I'm not Christian and that I'm spiritual, non-religious. Because when we start jumping into religious texts and the doctrines and the things that man wrote about woman 2000 plus years ago, and then all of the different translations from one language to another, and then in each language multiple times with the different versions and all of this and all of that, I'm a little hesitant. So I want to be respectful of people's religion, even though I'm not Christian. I find it highly problematic. Wasn't the Bible the same text that wrote about slaves yielding to their master, obeying their master? And this is the doctrine that was used to keep black people in African chattel slavery for hundreds of years. Let's talk about some of this. Women were gifted with this amazing, beautiful, wonderful puzzle between our legs. And there's an intelligent design to woman. There are biological, psychological, and intrinsic controls in place that help us and have helped us evolutionarily. Did you know, this is just FYI, just about the magic of the vulva. Did you know that the vagina, that, even though when you start to feel aroused, it feels like that lubrication is coming from deep within and coming downward. Did you know that it's actually the walls of the vagina that secrete lubrication, so that even if the cervix is covered, the walls lubricate so that you don't have to wait for the lubrication to come down. The walls itself lubricate. That's one. Did you know that arousal in a woman fluctuates? And with the rising of arousal, that the clitoris will actually shield itself inside of its hood, and it'll go up and down, up and down. There has to be a flow of continuing the process of arousal. A woman just does not get aroused and stay aroused like a man. A man gets aroused and boom, he's aroused. A woman gets aroused and there are waves and patterns to that arousal, and there are controls in place to stop the woman. Also, did you know that a woman's body responds to sexual stimuli before her mind even knows that it does, so that she's not cognizant or conscientious of the fact that she has already begun? They put these nodes inside of women and ask them to watch erotic material. And then they ask the women to press a button when they themselves became aware of their arousal, right? So the women would press on the thing long after the node had already realized that, or had already started to feel the secretions or the increased temperature, the different things that happen to a woman's body once she becomes aroused. Did you know that orgasm, the spasms of orgasm, actually helps semen travel upward? Listen, we're going to get to the point. Okay. Did you know that there's a chemical that exists in the tears evoked by a woman's sadness? There's water that can come out of your eyes just to lubricate your eyeballs. Not that type of water. There's a chemical that is secreted in a woman's tears when she is sad that plummets a man's testosterone and decreases his arousal. So women, please use that at your disposal. When a man's testosterone is decreased, his aggression lessens, his sexual arousal also lessens. And these are things that can come in handy when a man is being very aggressive with you, when a man is trying to take advantage of you sexually. Your tears will kill his erection. All right? And did you know that men in the presence of other men produce more sperm per cubic inch of semen? There are natural designs to our bodies. Also, the male penis is a plunger and a scraper. I had to say that in a video. It's a plunger. The shape of a man's penises were meant to be uncircumcised. And so the shape of the man's penis going inward is plunging part. The back part of underneath the hood scrapes out another man's penis. The uncircumcised part sucks out another man's, semen. As I said penis before, sucks out another man's semen, scrapes out his semen, and then plunges in so that his semen can get to the place that it needs to be. The reason why I mention orgasm, the rhythmic spasms of a woman's orgasm will bring semen up towards the cervix. There's a natural design to women. It's a beautiful, wonderful, clandestine design. And everything is perfect as it is. A woman has a delayed arousal so that she does not enter into compromising situations where she's having sex when she really, really shouldn't. So therefore, mentally, she has a stronger hold over her arousal than maybe men do. With the fluctuations, a man has to continue to do what it is that he needs to do to keep a woman aroused in order to get to that next state. the secretions and not being able to penetrate and having pleasurable intercourse inside of a dry vagina. The man who knows how to make the woman climax is the one who's most likely to be able to get his sperm into where it needs to be. So I say all of this to say that if a woman is not aroused, if there are things that are happening in the relationship where a woman does not want to have sex, these are things that should be listened to. It's even though she said, you know, how she was like, are you withholding from your wife, husband? How many of you out there really think that she was talking to men? How many of you out there know that she was meaning this message for women first and foremost above everything else? There's a natural design to women, so don't question goddess. Don't question goddess. If there are things that are happening in that relationship that are not conducive to sex, if that woman is not getting what it is that she needs emotionally, if she's not being heard and seen and treated right, she's not going to feel aroused. This is why inside of the book, The 5 Languages of Love, it talks about how a man can get more sex by doing more dishes, by helping out with the children more, by doing more chores. So it's like with a man, he thinks, oh, if I just touch here and touch there. But no, there's a connection between the mind and body. If all of this is not honored, then there's no none of this. This intelligent design is actually what helps men learn how to act right. Because if women just get over it, just forgive, forget, come what may, feel aroused, have sex, then there's less room for men to really rise to his full greatness, where he can really evaluate himself and say, you know, there's some things that are happening in this relationship that I want to improve upon. I want to be able to have more access. I want to please my woman. And it's like people like her just like get over it, open up your legs and spread them for your man. And the scripture talking about you don't have free will over your body. And I'm like, these are very dangerous messages. This is why still to this day in the United States, there are a plethora of states that do not believe that a man can rape his wife. As a spiritual person, I know that my body is mine. This beautiful vessel that you see right here houses my soul. When I I came into this body and I inhabited this beautiful vessel. And this is mine. This body inhabits my soul, and still there's a part of my energy that exists outside of this body. So it's like, no, nobody else, no man, no other human owns this body. I have full autonomy, and so do you. And if you believe these types of religious messages, I implore you to please take a few moments to just think about things in a different way. I think that these messages are dangerous. And I want to hear your thoughts. Make sure that you come over to the community tab on YouTube to vote on the next videos that I'm putting up. Some of the next videos that I'm going to be putting up are about men and the friend zone. The title of the next video is She Doesn't Want Your Friend-Zoned Ass. And the next one, how to nicely dump friends and family who are kind of holding you back. Toxic friends holding you back, no longer serving you. So we're going to be getting into those next. So make sure that you subscribe to my personal mailing list. I will put the link below and you'll see it around here somewhere. That's the best way to support me, joining my personal mailing list. So that way, if anything happens to me in social media, we know how to stay in touch with one another forever. All right? So Tonya Tko, and I am out. One last thing that I wanted to add is I'm always leery of people like her who talk in public about how great and wonderful their relationships are. Because I know from being a life coach that behind the scenes, things are very, very different in every single case that I've ever seen with these broad, outlandish public displays. Somebody dropping my pen and stuff will not. Satan! This is just too much. This is foolishness. This is foolishness. She doesn't want your friend-zoned ass. Satan! Nicely dump friends and family that no longer serve you. Satan! Male penis is a plunger and a scraper. I had to say that in a video. It's a plunger